mean, Riley Cooper, I mean, like, that dude deserves a statue. I mean, like,
number one on your speed dial.
Hey, I'll tell you what, like, I mean, I didn't know until a couple days after the fact. I was like, wait a minute, is he the MVP or like we got the all-tournament team?
No doubt about it.
And then Ty Floyd, when I struck out 17, and like stole it from him. But I was like, when has a pitcher like been a part of like 5 of the 6 wins in Omaha? I mean, what a performance!
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, Jordy.
Thank you for the time. Yes, sir.
Sharp a little late, boys, at the spring game, obviously, as you can see. A couple of booze cruises here to do. Let's do it. Cruise. Grand salami to the boys. Finally back on track. And I got another one coming. Don't you think I don't? And that's how we roll in Tiger Stadium.
Just watching the spring games that were on television, one thing that jumped out about your squad is your quarterback room is very talented compared to a lot of the league and a lot of the country. I wonder, is it easier to recruit that position when you have talent or when you don't have talent? Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question, I thought, my God, if she gets offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast, no matter where we at, we open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right.
Big start. Big day.
Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, Jordy.
Thank you for the time. All right, welcome in. Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here from our Click Here digital campus on this Monday morning, getting you set for the week. We appreciate you starting your week here with us. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. If you haven't subscribed to the show, please give us a subscription. Give us a subscription before we get out of here at 9 a.m. this morning. No guest on this Monday. We'll open it up and take your phone calls in the second hour. Lots to react to from this weekend. We've got Jayden Daniels winning the Heisman Trophy. We've got the state championships in the rearview mirror, and then we've got the New Orleans Saints winning a game yesterday in front of a pissed-off crowd inside of the Mercedes-Benz.
They wanted to lose so bad.
Caesars Palace.
Yeah,
actually, this is it was weird to be in there. It was a hell of an environment. Lloyd is here on this Monday morning. Stewie is here on this Monday as we are live. Daily
Heisman
brought
voters.
to you by your by RMB
Not Biletnikoff
Builders.
voters.
No.
And as always, our phone
At least
line
the
brought to you
tapes.
by Southern Regional Medical Center. Southern Regional Medical Center, real doctors, real solutions. Check them out. Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan, and the crew, as always, bringing you our phone lines, which we will open up at some point and take your reaction. But we will start with Jayden Daniels on Saturday night, taking the Heisman Trophy, the most prestigious award, home in college football, as Daniels, representing LSU, rolls to the victory over Michael Penix and Bo Nix and the rest of the Heisman crowd. Marvin Harrison Jr. was the fourth participant on Saturday night, but it was all about Jayden Daniels and LSU. LSU once again took this opportunity to really flex as far as the brand with the colors and all of the marketing within Times Square and all that we saw in New York City from Jayden Daniels and LSU on Saturday night. But Daniels, I thought, really owned the moment. I thought he crushed it. I thought his speech was fantastic. You could tell that he was prepared for that. He was. It felt like he was going to win it going into it. And once his name was called, it was a little bit of relief. I know we were in the Dome on Saturday night when they announced it.
Same.
Watching Zachary and Rustin.
Were they singing like the national anthem or something?
Yes, they were.
They were singing the national anthem, and I turned around because I was standing by like the club seats, and some people were in there. Some people were in there, sweet, like clapping by the TV, and I was like, "Oh, he just won it. Yeah, he just did it."
No, I was watching on my phone in the Dome. It was terrible timing. I mean, it
was horrible timing.
I mean, it was horrible timing as far as like being in the Dome.
I mean,
what was happening. They were playing the national anthem for the final game of the weekend for Rustin Zachary.
Heavyweight fight,
and they are like literally handing the trophy out as they're singing the national anthem. So it was kind of like,
do I listen to this? Do I watch?
Got your hat off, but you're watching your phone. It was kind of like, a big contradiction. But either way, Jayden Daniels takes the award home as he walks away with it and becomes the third ever LSU Tiger to win the Heisman Trophy, the second in the last 5 years, and the second quarterback to do so following 2019 and Joe Burrow's Heisman Trophy campaign and run that he went on that was capped off by the LSU National Championship. But Daniels on Saturday night, what a deserving winner. So much of this season and so much of the talk this season was that Daniels was the best player in the sport. He had to overcome a horrific defense and storylines of not being on a contender for the later part in the season, but for him to win the award, I thought he was very deserved. I thought he represented the moment, the brand, the school, himself, all in fantastic fashion. And congratulations to him and LSU. It was a hell of a moment. Do we have some of his speech from Saturday night? This is Daniels taking. We'll get this set up for you, but Daniels taking the podium on Saturday. In New York City with his mom, his dad there in tow. The LSU contingency was there. You saw Brian Kelly, Scott Woodward. A lot of the coaches were there, including Joe Sloan. I mean, Sherm got the biggest shout out.
I love you, dog.
Be
getting on my nerves though.
In the speech, I mean, Sherman Wilson was he was isolated and really. Recognized for his relationship with Jayden Daniels, and deservedly so. When you talk to people around LSU, a lot of people say that they're real close. I mean, they have spent a lot of time together off the field and have developed a relationship and a friendship that's very obvious to people around the program and to people who are there every single day. But Daniels is standing alone as the Heisman Trophy Award winner, and then took home a lot of the hardware on Friday night as LSU was up for a lot of awards. Let's hear from Daniels on Saturday from the Heisman Trophy acceptance speech, and we'll get you all the awards that the Tigers walked away with this weekend.
Thank you. This is a dream come true. I want to first give thanks to God, for all the glory. He's my rock, my savior. He blessed me with the talents and ability to get here, all the special people here to develop these skills. To Bo, Mike, and Marvin, you guys are amazing. I enjoy watching y'all, but the competition is never over. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sundays. I'd like to start the thing with a few thank yous. I learned from previous winners, the first lesson is becoming a great quarterback, you got to think your O-line first. Thank you guys for getting me here today in one piece. I know it wasn't easy. I scramble around a lot, but I love you guys. I have so many coaches to thank. My high school coach, Nick Rogers, he is here. Thank you for believing in a 14-year-old freshman to start on varsity. I probably weighed 140 pounds. I appreciate you. Taylor Kelly, thank you for helping me elevate my game, taking me to new heights and the next level. I want to thank Herm Edwards, Marv Lewis, and Antonio Pierce. Thank you for your leadership and welcoming me when I was at ASU, and thank you for giving me the keys to the program. To Coach Kelly, Coach Frank, Coach Denbrock, and Coach Sloan, and the rest of the LSU football staff, thank you for trusting in me to lead your team. I learned so much from you guys. You took a kid from the West Coast and brought me back down to the Bayou. I'm forever thankful. I want to thank to every single LSU fan for having my back. I never seen fans pouring their hearts into a team like LSU. I really wish I could have brought you back another championship, but that was my plan, but God has other plans for me. So wild. I want to thank all my teammates from Arizona State to LSU. You're my brothers. You work so hard every day and inspire me to be my best. The truth is I will truly miss all you guys. Having future NFL players on my team make my job look easy. My receivers always say this, they're like Waffle House, they're always open. I also want to acknowledge all the unsung heroes of this game. Trainers, the nutritionists, equipment managers, groundkeepers, janitors, security, everybody. Basically everyone who works behind the scenes to make sure our sport is the greatest on earth. I know it's sometimes a thankless job, so I want to say thank you. But then finally, I'd like to turn to my family. Dad, you put a football in my hands when I was young. I know you raised me to be a corner, but hopefully now the decision to play quarterback is paid off. You taught me how to play, lead, and be calm no matter the situation. And I know I wouldn't be on the stage if it wasn't for you, so thank you. I love you. My rock, my mama. You were so nervous when I was playing my first high school game, that you couldn't even watch my first high school touchdown. You closed your eyes. But after that, you never took your eyes off the field. You always had my best interest at heart from day one, and you showed me that tough love when I needed it. You instilled in me the hard work mentality that got me here, and you always told me to keep my eyes on the prize. You encouraged me to always bet on myself because you always believed in me no matter what. I graduated in 3 years because that's something that you pushed me to do. And here and now, I'm on this stage, and I love you, Mom. Thank you. I want to shout out one more person, Sherman Wilson. He's in the stands somewhere. Thank you for everything you've done for me, bro. Pushing me no matter what. You might be annoying, but, I love you, dog. Being a college athlete and winning this award has been a dream come true. I want to dedicate this award to every boy and girl who has a dream. With faith and hard work, you never know what's possible. They said I was too skinny, so I added weight. They said I relied on my legs a little bit too much. So, I went to work, completed all those passes, had the season I had. So I thank everybody out there. And they said I was too quiet, so, I became more vocal. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and now I'm here today. So what did I learn from all this? I learned how to block out the noise, that you could overcome any obstacle, and just be humble, be legendary, and most importantly, be joyful about what you do. And when you get knocked down, get back up, keep smiling, and never give up on your dreams. And I want to end a special thank you to Greg Brooks Jr. and his family. You gave me inspiration to continue on this journey of greatness and keep fighting. Thank you.
Crushed it, bro. Killed it. Thought it was hit all the high points. Thanked everyone who really needed to be thanked. Shouted out the people that he wanted to shout out personally, whether it was Sherman Wilson and even recognizing Greg Brooks at the end. I thought it was a great touch. It was a great representation for our flagship university, for the state of Louisiana, for LSU, for Jayden Daniels, and for the LSU football program, who is back to work this morning on the practice field as they are preparing for Wisconsin coming up on January 1st, in which they will travel over to Tampa to take on the Badgers. But LSU now back on the practice field after last week having the week off. So, man, it was a cool moment and a cool night for LSU. I talked to some people who were up in New York, actually some LSU alumni who live up in New York, and were texting back and forth asking if we were making the trip back up after 2019 and being there with Burrow, and unfortunately not being able to get back up there. But it's a fantastic trip, and it was a lot of the same of what was last time. It was LSU everywhere. If you were following on social media, and whether you're following, obviously LSU football and Jayden Daniels and all the LSU accounts, obviously it looks very pro LSU, but even like Raising Cane's, like the national account, I mean, you could see that they were working the counter at Raising Cane's in Times Square on Friday, and the amount of LSU people that showed up. I mean, you got to think, you've got 4 schools represented in New York City. I mean, Ohio State, Oregon, and Washington, LSU, that's 4 pretty name brand schools with huge alumni bases that stretch all over the world. I mean, you wear an LSU, Washington, Oregon, or Ohio State shirt, on a trip to Europe, odds are you're going to get shouted out a lot.
Go Tigers.
I mean, wherever you are in the world, those 4 universities are going to bring a ton of attention. But to see the amount of LSU love for Jayden Daniels in New York City on social media, and hearing from some people that were there, felt like a lot like 2019, because I can tell you in 2019, I was overwhelmed with the amount of purple and gold, with the amount of LSU chants, with the amount of just how big the brand is in New York City. Obviously, being in Legends Bar, and I was following some people who were in Legends over the weekend, and had a chance to be there once the announcement was made that Daniels was going to win, and it exploded, and the fight song went off, and people are dancing on the bar and taking shots. It was a beautiful scene. But more surprisingly, when I was there in 19 and getting some feedback that people that were there this go round, and from some New Yorkers that are LSU alumni, was just, again, the purple and gold in the streets, like all over the city. And obviously LSU marketing did a great job with buying ad space in Times Square and putting the brand and the colors and Jayden Daniels' face all over the really all over the world on Saturday and throughout the weekend. It was a hell of a promotional tour and opportunity for the football program for LSU, and I thought, again, they capitalized. They took advantage of it, and I mean, LSU, the brand is everywhere. I mean, it is everywhere. Some other news going into the weekend, that was Daniels on Saturday night, who took home the Heisman Trophy, which we all agree that is the most prestigious award in college football. Daniels had a hell of a Friday, too, where he took home the Walter Camp Player of the Year award, the Davey O'Brien Award, which goes to the nation's best quarterback. He took home the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, which is the best upper-class quarterback, earlier last week. The Maxwell Award goes to the best player in college football. Michael Penix took that award home as his 13-0 record with the Pac-12 champs with Washington was awarded with the Maxwell Award. This is where things got a little hairy. The Biletnikoff Award ended up going to Marvin Harrison Jr. on Friday. The word on the street is that he beat Malik Nabers by 1 vote. I don't buy it.
I want a recount.
I don't buy it. I don't buy that there was a 1 vote discrepancy. We told you, everybody was telling you, it wasn't just this show. There was a lot of speculation once Harrison got the invite to New York City for the Heisman Trophy that he was going to, they were just going to hand him the Biletnikoff
participation trophy
as almost like a here you go, like, we appreciate your service to college football. We're not worthy of having you in the game, so here is your award, even though you finished well under a guy in Malik Nabers who just rewrote stat records at his own school, ran through records in the league, and was by far the best wide receiver in 2023.
They had to put up there that he had 15 games in his career with over 100 yards, and Malik Nabers had 9 games this season with over 100 yards. It was
highway robbery.
Yeah, it was almost like they were giving his dad the award.
Oh God.
They might have had to.
Speaking of highway robbery, but it's hard to complain. I mean, I think it was apparent that Malik Nabers was the best wide receiver in college football this year. But when you look back at the history of, and that's what I think needs to be taken into account, is the way that the award system has been in history needs to be looked at as to, it's not a career achievement award anymore. Like the way that the amount of attention that college football gets now, you need to do it season by season. It's not a, hey, look what you did throughout your career. We didn't give it to you your sophomore year, so we're going to give it to you your junior year. Because now there's too many good players in college football and too many things that are happening offensively or defensively where, like, if you're an LSU fan, Grant Delpit didn't deserve the Thorpe in 2019, but he sure as hell deserved it in 2018. And it's like the old guard of, we can't give it to a sophomore. We can't give it to a freshman. It has to be, oh, do it again. Be a junior. Like, that shit is out the window now in college football because the whole landscape has changed. You're getting paid now. Like, stop acting like it's a career achievement of longevity and, oh, he did it the right way and he came to school for 3 years and now you get your Thorpe. Now you get your Biletnikoff. That's not the way the world works. That's not the way the award should be because now you're looking at college system and you're looking at college football and it looks like a flawed product because, oh, I guess Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best quote-unquote wide receiver in the sport. Well, he wasn't the best wide receiver this year, and that's what the reward is. It's a 2023 Biletnikoff, and that goes to, you'll look back at the numbers and you'll go, wait, did y'all see what Malik Nabers did? Like, he's going to get lost in history and throughout the totality of it. Like LSU, you won't forget. He's going to set records here at the school because he was standing on 10 toes tall after he saw the announcement. Like, he was pissed off on Twitter, and he should be. Yeah. Like, I earned that award. And it's not all about awards, and I understand that. But for some people, it's a point of pride. And you knew, like, Malik went out there every day, and every Saturday for sure, and played like it. And for him to not get the award because you have some old guard system where, oh, he didn't do it his sophomore. I mean, he looked good his sophomore year, but his junior year he fell off, and now he's going to the NFL. But let's give him this on his way out. Like, you should have given it to Marvin Harrison his sophomore year, and you should have given it to Malik Nabers his junior year. That's just... the system's broken.
It felt criminal, really.
It did.
I mean, to be on this side of it and to have a guy that, you know, was so deserved. The numbers said so. He was clearly the best player. It was tough. And to see his reaction, it was justified. I thought that Malik Nabers should have been pissed off. He should stay pissed off. And that there should be, there should be a real... there should be a real effort to try and clean up the way that these awards are voted on, because it's just it's not finding the best guy.
It's not recognizing the best player that year.
It's not finding the best player, and that's just not the intention of what it should be. And man, I feel so bad for Malik Nabers. I hope he plays in this game so he can become LSU's all-time leader in receiving yards and be recognized as someone that'll live for a long time, and his name will be there. But he deserved the Biletnikoff, and it will go down as one for LSU, as one that was deserved and one that will it just doesn't feel right. It just does not feel like he was handled. That was handled the correct way. One thing about Saturday night with Jayden Daniels was I thought he looked fantastic. His suit game was strong. And we've been telling you about Pierce Bespoke, the mobile tailor service. They're the ones that got Jayden Daniels suited up for Saturday night for his Heisman Trophy runway, including the entire weekend, and took care of Daniels all season long. Check out Pierce Bespoke online at piercebespoke.com. We've been telling you that if you mention the show when you get over there for your first custom ordered fit, they'll take $200 off. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show, and they'll take care of you over at Pierce Bespoke. piercebespoke.com. Tell Grayson Augustus and the crew that you heard it right here, whether it is you want to build your own sport coat, build your own suit, build your own pants, whatever you need, get in touch with Pierce Bespoke. Or if you want to step into a custom-made suit like Jayden Daniels had on Saturday night. I thought the three-piece gray was beautiful for Daniels as he accepted the award for the Heisman Trophy on Saturday night. So PierceBespoke.com. Mention the show there on Instagram as well. Mention the Jordy Culotta Show and you save $200 over at Pierce Bespoke. PierceBespoke.com to check them out and custom design your own
Cocktail attire.
Your own
Christmas
seat
season
for today. Yeah, and you can get it around. You can turn it around pretty quick. 3 to 4 weeks for your turnaround time.
New Year's.
So next time we talk about LSU, they will be in a bowl game. The next couple of weeks is going to be tough as we get into it here. The transition, LSU basketball on Saturday, run out by 15 versus Kansas State.
What is their stat line? Do we know?
Who?
Red Panda.
Oh,
Panda.
Yeah.
Panda.
Undefeated.
Panda.
I don't even have to check the stat line.
So you think she no drops?
No drops.
No drops?
No way, dude.
No way. Coach.
Unicycle's undefeated.
Yeah. The Michael Jordan of halftime events.
Well, I don't know. That's a tough crowd to go into if you don't have the.
Was there a crowd? Was
anybody
there?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it could have been a warm up.
I mean,
I was about to
is
say,
this a layup line?
Unless people showed up for halftime and left.
Standing room only.
That's
for
what they were
Panda.
promoting. I mean, that was the deal.
They probably have
online.
They probably had more people at the state championship.
No doubt.
Saturday.
Oh, for sure.
Than at the LSU basketball.
I don't even think that would be debated.
And I'm not
like I'm talking about like even the like small team games like
for
Oak
sure.
Grove and.
I mean, you got to think you had the town of Lafayette there,
Coach,
with STM and LCA.
Well,
there.
no, you should have saw Opelousas and Cecilia
on Friday.
Yes, the whole Opelousas was there and the whole Cecilia was there,
filling up the bottom bowl.
Saw K. Feezy, Kevin Falk walking out the stadium, like. This man just lays like.
Well, he's got a cousin somewhere.
Yeah, but he flies below the radar.
For as much Lafayette representation that was there this weekend, Kevin Falk's got some. He's got a nephew, a cousin that somewhere.
Coach, the funniest thing I heard this weekend, Deborah Henderson was in the building from Opelousas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's talking to somebody on the sideline, and he's like, "Let me get out of here before one of my cousins see me."
I gotta go.
I gotta get out of here, dog.
But you gotta go. You gotta go.
Well, I mean, his cousin's probably looking at him for different. Hey, what's up, Dad? Can I can borrow a little? Good to see you again, cuz.
Yeah,
need about 2,000.
Yeah, give me one of those Odell handshakes.
But a great weekend at the Dome. I was there on Saturday. Saw Zachary and Rustin, the heavyweight fight on Saturday night. Intense. Rustin is impressive getting off the bus.
They're all bus team.
They are an all bus team, but they take care of business. I thought Zachary played them well. Clearly, Rustin was the better team, like 11 on 11. They had better players.
I thought Rustin had the better
Trey'Dez Green was the best player I saw all weekend. I know you watched James Simon play on Friday, and I heard incredible things about Simon, but Trey'Dez Green was unguardable on Saturday night. Rustin tried everything. Rustin's defensive coordinator is former LSU great, former Rustin standout, Tiger All-American, and Buffalo Bill legend Kyle Williams is the defensive coordinator for the Bearcats, and they tried everything on Trey'Dez Green.
That cornerback that was on Trey'Dez Green, number one, he ain't no slouch.
He's not bad.
Like, he ain't no slouch.
But, Coach, you're talking 6'7",
5'10",
with a 40-inch vertical that was feeling it.
Oh, he was feeling
like he was in the zone, man. I mean, like he was going. If Zachary was going to win,
it was because of him.
It was going to be on his shoulders, and he did everything he could to try and win that game. And like I said, I thought Zachary played hard. They had a really good game plan. You could tell early on that Rustin was surprised how hard they punched him in the mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, Rustin hadn't been hit in the face
all year.
Like Zachary came out and punched him early on. And I mean, that was a 3.5 quarter game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like it. They ran. I mean,
they didn't run him off the field.
It was, they were bigger, stronger, fat. Rustin's good. Rustin's, they're the best team.
Yeah. I mean, Zachary had a 5'9" linebacker. And I was I was not expecting that from Zachary. And you look
Coach, he was coming up, filling a hole, and
hitting,
standing people straight up.
Yes. But I mean, you look on the other side. Rustin's trotting out there
with defense
with 4 D1 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers that are stout,
Kyle
and then
Williams
the
said, I'm going to build
cornerbacks.
me some 2003 LSU
Yes.
football.
Coach.
It looks like a high school movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they're
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, it looks like good. look
Dallas
at
Carter's
this
coming out the
team.
tunnel.
Yes.
I mean, they're
All
impressive.
uniform game too.
Yeah,
All
uni
uniform game.
all uni. It was fantastic. I thought it was great entertainment. Ahmad Bro,
Yeah, he's good. He plays a lot in the middle. Mm-hmm. I think that's more of like probably a Kyle Williams thing. Like we'll get you matched up on a guard or a center. And
Yeah.
he's probably quicker than them.
I mean, a couple of times he had some people on roller skates, but
skate.
Trey'Dez Green
Oh my goodness.
is different.
I've never seen anything like
I
this.
mean, like it was kind of video game-ish. Like whenever you want it, you can get it.
It's right there for
like
you.
you could just throw the ball up. They were double teaming him. He was Randy Mossing him, where he's just, and it's no disrespect to Rustin's DBs. I mean, this kid is a pro. Like, I mean, he is.
I'm trying to find this Rustin DB's name.
There's got to be on the Louisiana versus y'all.
He did a great
I got
job.
it pulled up.
I mean, in fact, he's standing in front of him in one of the.
Aiden Anding is the cornerback from Rustin. Kid has a 22.5-inch long jump. So this kid is athletic.
Yeah.
Like this is an
Big-time
athletic
athlete.
freak. And
Sorry.
he's doing everything he can.
Yeah, I mean, it's different.
I mean, coach. It's from LA versus all y'all.
And
Look at him. I mean, look at him.
And he gets his hand on the ball.
I mean,
and it's still just
and
not
that's one of the
enough.
more easier catches he made that night. Like, I mean, he was doing things like on the sidelines.
Oh, God, what are you
He was
supposed to
doing
do?
things in the middle of the field. I mean, it was just.
I mean, you almost have to go Calvin
Look at the
Johnson.
Rustin student
Yeah,
section.
of course.
They're all like,
Oh,
"Good
Lord."
I
And he
mean,
just
like-
gives them that look.
What do you think we're going to run here?
Like, what do you want us to do? Like, look at him. Look at. They're like,
Favre gets boxed out by his own corner. But I mean, you almost have to go full Calvin Johnson like the Saints did, where they would put two on him at the line.
Like vice him.
Yeah, and like you're not just. It's like a punt. It's like you're lining up on punt. Like this guy's not
Anybody
getting
but
by
this
me.
guy.
Yeah,
anybody.
I know
but
what
this
y'all
guy.
are running. If
Right.
anybody with a modicum of anything that knows anything about football is like, I would throw the fade here, right?
Oh man! I
Oh,
mean, it was that. It was.
Coach,
it
I'm
was-
telling every media person on the side, I'm like,
Don't overthink
If
it.
they don't throw the fade, it's a fireable offense.
I mean, look at 6. Like he puts his arms up, he's 7 foot.
Absolutely, I would check it at
You
the
think
line.
David Brewerton's gonna overthink it?
No, no way.
Hey, this one.
I mean, all day.
I mean, it's almost like how many times can you throw it to him before it becomes criminal? It's like every play, can we do this? Like yes.
Yeah, I was about to say
No.
they probably could have went to it every play, and it probably would
Would've
have
worked.
every play.
I mean,
But their running back Zachary has a pretty good running back too, and I mean they wanted to give him his touches. I think their quarterback's kind of young, so they didn't want to put the pressure
Zachary?
on him. Yeah,
He's a first year starter.
Yeah. So
he's
it's
been
like-
sitting behind Holstein, but I mean,
They-
the man's gonna.
they
If
had
he
a
hasn't
good game
perfected
plan.
the fade ball yet, that was your year.
yeah.
He's gonna be able to throw a fade when he's 75. Like I used to put it up to Trey'Dez.
yeah, no doubt.
He's gonna be telling his frat
grandkids,
brothers next year
yeah.
at LSU like,
Go
bro,
up and get it.
I used to throw
Like,
throws right
Look at
up,
this.
throws to my sleep.
We could do this all night. We wanted
He's gonna
to.
be in the student section. Go throw the fade. Throw the fade.
Throw the fade. He's gonna catch it. But this is the other one down the sideline. Where I mean,
That was
Oh
the
my
one.
god, he hangs
That
in
was
the
the
air,
one.
dude.
yeah,
That was the one. I mean, that was like third and
Forever.
long. I mean, he just
third and
takes
give it to
away.
me.
I mean, that was you were like, I don't know what they can do. Like we were sitting on the Rustin side.
Like double teamed.
And Rustin, like the people were like, man, what else can you do? I
What
mean,
a
that's
weapon.
two of your best athletes over there on him.
Coach, I mean, I can't wait for him to get to LSU.
Me either.
LSU, and you talk.
You think of Trey'Dez Green, Kamorian Pimpton. I mean, you still have
Mason
eligibility
Taylor.
with Mason Taylor in there. Mac Markway played really good football this season. I mean, the LSU tight end room.
Starting to look like
Adding,
Iowa.
I don't necessarily know if Trey'Dez Green is
a tight
just
end.
a tight end.
He might be a receiver,
He
coach.
could
Same
be
thing
a-
with Pimpton.
But nah, Trey'Dez Green is like.
Oh,
his
no, I'm just saying
ath-
size-wise.
Yeah, but his athleticism is a little different from Pimpton. Like you talking about a basketball player, like
Yeah.
actual
Yeah, but
number
a-
one player in
a
the state.
top player.
Yeah, like number one player in the state basketball. So,
and Matt McMahon and the basketball team can forget it. Like, that ain't happening. I mean, he's too good.
Right.
I mean, he's too good. Like, why would you
waste that?
Why would you, or not waste it?
Not waste it.
Would you sacrifice it?
Yeah.
Like, why would you even, like,
sacrifice time away from football,
like,
too?
gamble with playing with that type of talent? I mean, he's potentially, like, the first tight end off the board in 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't seen one bigger or better than him.
I mean, if you're Bryce Underwood, where else would you go?
I mean, I guess
if you're an offensive player. I mean, like, you mentioned James. I did not see Friday. I was not able to go on Friday. And they had really good games on Friday. And Sam Spiegelman put out his top performers of the weekend inside the dome. And Trey'Dez Green was second. And that's incredible because I saw the game that Trey'Dez Green played.
Yeah.
And if James Simon is first, how good did he play?
Coach, 3 touchdowns, 193 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6.4 yards a carry. And he was hitting them big. Like, whenever he wanted to. Whenever Calvary wanted to give him the ball, he would hit it big. They didn't even have to throw him the ball. They could have. He was open a couple times on like, wheel routes and out routes and stuff, and they weren't even throwing it to him. But when they gave it to him, it was electric.
So Harlem Berry is the number 1 running back in the country out of New Orleans in the same recruiting cycle as James Simon. Simon is out of North Louisiana at Calvary Baptist. Harlem Berry is set to make his announcement on December 18th. It seems like LSU is going to be the school to beat here. Simon had LSU on. Like, he had the gloves on. He had the towel on. He had the elbow bands on. So, I mean, you're talking about running backs in Louisiana. Frank Wilson, 3rd year on the job. I just... If you come in and take these guys away from him, you know, tip of the hat. But I don't see. If he gets Simon and Berry, which he's trending on getting Berry on December 18th, LSU is the lead school there. You've already got Trey'Dez Green committed right now to this class. But I'm just talking about the offensive weapons that they are stockpiling that you can sell to Bryce Underwood, who's the number 1 quarterback and the number 1 player in the country, that is set to announce on January 6th. So you're talking about in back-to-back classes. Hell, we can even back it up last year's class. Shelton Sampson, a 5-star. Jaylen Brown, a 5-star. Kyle Parker, a big-time possession receiver. Kai Preon, a playmaking wide receiver. Who am I missing out of that wide receiver class? Is that everybody?
Last season?
Yep.
So Jaylen Brown,
Preon, Jaylen Brown, Sampson, and Rogers. And Parker.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you add into the mix Kamorian Pimpton and Mac Markway.
Mm-hmm. Which Markway's transfer. Not Mac Markway. McGohan's transfer.
Yeah, so wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean.
After I watched Trey'Dez Green play, I'm
Lord.
out, dog.
So,
ahead of the news cycle.
Next year, in the next class, he's bringing in Trey'Dez Green and Caden Durham as just other offensive players.
Caden Durham just scored 5 touchdowns in Duncanville's last playoff game. And they're playing
into
Minnesota?
His class where he's adding DK Moore.
Yeah.
DeCorian Moore from Duncanville.
And
who looks like the top wide receiver in that class.
Coach, he's the top wide receiver, but he might be the top corner too. They've been putting him at cornerback.
They've been putting him at corner.
And he hasn't given up a catch in the playoffs.
He's going to play wide receiver. But
and then you get like Harlem Berry and James Simon. I mean, think about the offense,
Coach,
over the next couple of years. But just on the names that we're just picking about, like just the talent you're stockpiling.
And then you go ahead and insert that into a Heisman-winning offense with Mike Denbrock, who you retained for 3 years, and that's not a mistake for the amount of time that he's coming back. Like that lets Bryce Underwood know and the rest of the commits that, hey, this is going to be your offensive coordinator when you get here.
Yep. Oh, this is the James Simon. It's just a little peek at what
he's still on business here.
Real quick cut. Look, he's hunting that kid.
Oh my God,
he's hunting that kid. Like,
and
that
St. Charles is the 1 seed.
Yeah, St. Charles beat UI.
Yeah. Simon's dad was the state championship MVP game. He's also the interim head coach at Grambling right now.
Grambling handed out some offers this weekend. I'll tell you that.
Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, A lot of talent to pick from.
But I imagine Coach Saban knows what goes on in the dome.
Lord, man, you talk about the offensive talent LSU is stockpiling in these last couple of classes that you can sell to Underwood, who's set to announce on January 6th, who I believe they get, is just it's cool to see, and all of it kind of going to the Heisman Trophy winner this past weekend, in which you can sell as well. LSU on a really, really cool trajectory right now as far as the offense goes and what could be next. This is also the week that we heard Brian Kelly speak about the evaluations of the coaches really coming to a head. We've seen the last couple of weeks, as Kelly last week explained, what the schedule was looking like. 3 weeks ago, it was about exit meetings with players. Or I guess 2 weeks ago, it was about exit meetings with players. Last week, it was about recruiting. And this week, it was about more evaluation and really kind of shifting the focus onto the staff. So you figure if there is any shakeup in the staff that could happen, that might happen, that could be on the way, we would probably hear about it this week in just the timeline that Brian Kelly laid out for LSU football when he met with the press during last week's session. They are back on the practice field this morning. They were in preparation for the bowl game. Has exams happened or exams?
Exams over. Was last
exams
week.
Are over.
Yeah.
They're done. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's just
football now.
So it's just football for LSU as far as the schedule goes now, as they kind of get into preparation for the bowl. I guess we'll hear an announcement on Jayden Daniels and what the future is there at some point here.
Coach, you show up to the bowl game in street clothes, right? And just hang out. I mean, I would think he would go just because he's like a pretty good leader on the team, and
he's he probably team captain,
right? He probably wants to help Nussmeier like before handing the keys over to the offense.
What if he wants to throw that pass to Malik?
He might. And that's what that means.
I mean, if I was his agent, I wouldn't let him.
One play, yeah, no.
Jayden, nah.
But I mean,
the latest mock drafts got. I mean,
he's second overall.
He's top 5 everywhere. I mean, why? Why would you play against Wisconsin?
The only thing that I would say is, like, I don't think he's going to play at all. I really don't. But especially after all the Heisman hype, you get, like, all of this. It all felt like a coronation of, this is kind of like my time at LSU. I'm done. Like, even with the speech and everything that he said, it didn't feel like I'm coming back for the bowl. Like, if it would have been, like, that didn't feel like he was going to say that. But the only thing that I would say, if you want to put that kind of, like, just that little seed in your head, is whenever they saw that, like, LSU put out the Jayden Daniels announcement of him being announced as a finalist, first person next to him was Malik Nabers and Kyron Lacey. But it's like him and Malik are best. It feels like they're best friends on the team.
Yeah.
And so if he wanted to get that award, it would be with Jaden throwing him the ball. I don't think it's that big of a deal if he does or doesn't do it. But I know for a fact it feels like Malik is going to play, especially after the Biletnikoff snub, where he's like, all right, I might play the whole game now. Like, I'm going to show y'all. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. That man, he feels it deep in his soul that he got burned.
We did.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
There's no debate to it. I don't think that going out and playing 4 quarters of football is going to prove that he did. And somebody, with the emotion that's taken out of it and the understanding of what he can accomplish. Because in those same mock drafts where Jayden Daniels is skyrocketing into, number 2 overall and top 5 everywhere, Malik Nabers has been consistent top 10 all season.
Yeah.
There has been no movement in Malik Nabers. He is a top 10 pick. So for him to go into the bowl game with some type of vendetta because he got snubbed on the Biletnikoff, look, I get it, but I just hope he has somebody internally that's like, hey, look, man, I got the emotion out of this. It sucks. You deserve to kick somebody's ass, but go kick the DB's ass on Sundays and make a lot of money doing it. And, go get this award or go get this stat.
I mean, Coach.
What is he, 22 yards shy? Literally, that could be a catch. That could be one play.
And Jaden is like 60 yards shy of breaking 5,000 career yards or 5,000 yards for the season.
I don't care.
Yeah, well, I said we could do this all in one play.
Yeah. All right,
really, I could make the argument that Malik Nabers is crazy playing.
Yeah, but he wants that award. I get
it.
He wants it.
I get it. I'm not here to talk you out of it. I'm not here to tell you, but,
he's crazy for playing. They both are.
This is a little bit of career roulette.
Well, I mean, if you think that's crazy, Marvin Harrison Jr.
No, get out
thinking
of here.
about going
He's
back to school.
That's not
$30 million.
That is not.
Who's coming up with 30? I want to know who's paying him the $30 million in NIL.
I think that I think that what they're trying to do, I think they're trying to promote and recruit the collective. At
Ohio State has it.
That Ohio State can even be in that discussion is just a recruiting tidbit that they can put together. There's no what Marvin Harrison's dad is not allowed. It would never allow that. You know what I mean? Like if there's anybody around him that is like, okay, so wait, what are we debating here? A 1 year, how many $1 million contract compared to 3 years working towards a 401k, working towards I mean, like the benefits. You start your clock ticking on your NFL and what's going on there as far as getting towards your pension. I mean, like it makes zero sense for Harrison to go back. I think that that's just an Ohio State recruiting ploy to try and show off that, you know, their collective is big.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
we can pay you $30 million if we want to.
And the recruiting message just becomes, hey, look, you want to know about our collective? We had Marvin Harrison thinking about coming back to school. Yeah. When in reality, that dude he's getting fitted for his suit. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be at the draft.
If Marvin Harrison Jr. said yes, Ohio State would be in a pickle. Like, we got to come up with $30 million.
And we got to find a quarterback today.
Yes.
Like if Marvin Harrison's like, cool, I'll take it.
Where's the money?
Yeah, where's it at?
I'll take it in cash. Like, oh.
We're going to put you on layaway and pay you over the next 30 years. You know what I mean? Like it's
Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's crazy that it's even a rumor because I don't think that's where NIL and the collective stands. Like on anybody's campus of, we'll pay you $30 million for 1 year to come back to a wide receiver. A quarterback, I could see that being a rumor that might be true. But I think, like you said, it's Ohio State doing, hey, we have the money. It's of course he's not going to stay, but we made him an offer.
Yeah, well, you have him thinking about it.
Right, but there's no way in hell they do. If he said, okay,
I mean,
I'm back.
It's the Devin White discussion.
Yeah, no, not even that. I'm talking about the $30 million. Like, if he actually was like, okay, cool, I'm coming back, they would be in a frenzy, Bob, to try to come up with $30 million.
Yes.
For one player, be like, well, our collective shot. Like,
right, one player?
Yeah.
Still need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Kyle, what are you up to? You want to come home?
It's going to Nebraska.
Oh.
Is that where he's headed?
Nebraska.
Him and the receiver, the visiting this week, making a decision.
Go hand it off 28 more times.
I saw Dylan Gabriel's going to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a pretty good fit.
Yeah.
I mean, Gabriel's probably going to make more money in college than he went in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. It'll probably a pretty good backup at some point.
In the NFL?
Yeah.
How is he going to live up to 78% completion percentage, though?
I don't know.
Down.
Hey, that thing goes behind the line a lot.
That's
here,
right.
Dog. Turning through.
Jet sweep passes.
Let it go.
Remember Hughes Mechanical Air Condition? HughesMechanical.net online. Travis Hughes and the crew. Trusted Daikin dealers over there at Hughes Mechanical, residential and commercial. Get in touch with them over at Hughes Mechanical. HughesMechanical.net online. And as we say, get in touch with Travis Hughes and everybody who is over at Hughes Mechanical, as they are located on I-10 in Zachary, headquartered in Zachary with a office in Covington, and they can help you all along I-10 from the North Shore to Lafayette, everywhere in between. Online at HughesMechanical.net, 225-658-2147, 225-658-2147 is the phone number. Get in touch with them today. We've been telling you about our new partnership over at NewOrleans.football and getting that going underway on January 1st, where we'll be originating 7 to 9 a.m. Get over and follow New Orleans football, NewOrleans.football on YouTube. Incredible feedback. They just had under 50,000 subscribers 2 weeks ago before we made the announcement. And now they're up to 68,000 subscribers on YouTube, nearly 70,000. We're making a push to get to 100,000 by next football season. Get us there. Get over to NewOrleans.football and make sure you're following them on YouTube. This show will originate there from 7 to 9 a.m. starting January 1st, and we are fired up about it. I spent a little bit of the day on Saturday with Nick kind of mapping out what the next couple of months and the relationship is going to look like, and it is exciting to think what is coming up and what we have in store. So make sure you're following NewOrleans.football on YouTube, and had a chance to be in the Dome yesterday. Shout out to Tom Granning, our guy Tom Granning, with Go Mart down there in Natchez. Obviously, he's got the Rudolph Run coming up with what he does that benefits such great charities down there. Get in touch with our friend Tom Granning and make sure and stop in and see him. But he handed over his 2 tickets for the weekend for the Saints, and Kelly and I went over to the game on Sunday. I mean, we kind of spent the weekend watching football and in the Dome. And then on Sunday kind of capped it off with the Panthers and Saints, and we went for the environment. Her and I, we were kind of dragging on Sunday after we had a wedding on Friday night. Then we went to the Dome on Saturday. We had some meetings with Nick on Saturday over some boiled seafood, so we kind of stuffed ourselves, and we were kind of tired. And on Sunday, went to the Dome, but it was freezing, first off, in the city. Like, I mean, the thing was a wind tunnel walking to the game. I mean, it was miserable. I looked at her twice, and I was like, you sure you want to, I mean, like, let's go back home.
Start a fire right here.
Yeah, I mean, let's get the hell out of here. And we powered through, pushed through, and went and ended up in the Dome. And man, it is contentious in the Superdome. Like, I know that they recognized Mickey Loomis yesterday for his, what's he got, like 200 executive wins. He's been an executive in the league, and he got his 200th win. He's one of like 9 executives, and that feels like a sham. Just
those
like,
books too.
I mean, that feels like a ton of Drew Brees and Sean Payton, like cooked into like 190 of those wins, 180 of those wins of the 200. But being inside the Superdome yesterday, you can feel it, man. I mean, it is every single move, people are ready to just roar. I mean, people are ready to let you feel it. I mean, like somebody was complaining about the DJ. I mean, like they've had it with the Saints down in New Orleans. And yesterday, I know they get a win, but even in the win, you could tell that, I mean, it was days of misery setting in for the Saints fan base. I mean, yesterday the cameras caught Derek Carr and Eric McCoy coming off the field, both of them, yelling at one another. And, I don't think that any of us who have watched sports, follow sports, cover sports are naive enough to not believe that this stuff does not happen every Sunday, nearly probably once a week in practice. At some point, a player or two are going to, kind of just be annoyed, aggravated, pissed off with one another and voice it. But what we saw yesterday from McCoy and Carr, and I don't want to blow this up, make it more bigger than it is. But what you're looking at is you're looking at 2 team captains. Both of those guys are in the captain circle of the Saints, and for them to be going at one another, if you haven't seen it, our friends over at Boot Crew Media have it clipped up and have the entire play, kind of like start to finish. And McCoy and Carr are going back and forth to one another on the field, and they've both come out and said afterwards in the press conference, in fact, McCoy handled it, I thought, fantastic, where he came out and said, look, that was all my fault. I handled that, the wrong way. I shouldn't have done that. There were some things that, I was wrong on that, I recognize now. And Carr came out and said the same thing. He was like, look, that stuff happens. He was right about some stuff. He was wrong about some stuff. I was right about some stuff. I was wrong about some stuff. And some of the things that they were yelling about. So they handled it well, in public and, kind of when pushed on it. And then Dennis Allen, kind of came out and was like, look, I'm glad that they have the balls to fight one another, where Allen just seems lost. I got to be honest. I mean, like, you talk about a guy that has
substitute
lost
teacher.
The crowd.
The classroom.
I mean, they were handing out, in fact, the ramp that we were walking up yesterday, a guy at the bottom of the ramp was handing out 500 Fire Dennis Allen t-shirts. It had sponsors on the back. You didn't have to pay for it. The whole thing was paid for.
Oh my God.
And I'm telling you, there were 60, 70 people in our section that was wearing the shirt. I mean, like, and people were on touchdowns, they were chanting Fire Dennis Allen. I mean, there are the feeling of the Saints in New Orleans. And again, this was my first game of the year. I went to a preseason game. This is the first regular season game that I've been to. And the only reason why I powered through the wind tunnel that was Poydras yesterday was because I just wanted to see what the environment was. I wanted to see what the feedback was. I wanted to see who sold their tickets, who showed up, if there was going to be Saints fans there, if it was going to be predominantly Carolina fans there. But, I mean, Carolina's staring the number one pick in the face. I mean, they could be the worst team in the league. Really? I mean, if they're not the worst team,
if you play anybody,
who is?
If you play anybody but Carolina, the Saints lose.
I would think so.
It couldn't have been a better. I guess if you want the Saints to win, I was rooting for chaos a little bit.
I was too.
And every time they got into the red
Carolina's
zone, you could
very bad.
Who was more uncomfortable in the red zone? The Carolina defense or the Saints offense? Because you could feel the tension rising on every third down throw. I think they tried to run. They ran the ball down their throats. They get in the red zone, throw it 3 times, and have to kick a field goal, then miss it. And I was like, it's about to explode in the dome. I wanted to see somebody on the field.
And then Groupie misses the kick.
That's what I'm saying. And I was like, it's at a frenzy.
The guy next to me,
frothing at the mouth.
The guy next to our tickets took the Saints minus a half a point in the first quarter. He said, he's like, Coach, I got the Saints minus a half a point in the first. I got a -3 at half, and I got a -5.5 for the game. So he and I'm like, first off, they're favored.
Yeah,
I mean, he was like, yeah, they're favored. So he misses the chip shot, which ends the first quarter 0-0.
Yeah, would have had it.
That's when he stands up, throws his nachos down, and walks up and starts watching the rest of the game through the corridor. He's pacing up top with the cop. The cop looks like he's got the Saints minus the 3 in the first half. He could care. I mean, I'm like, I was just blasting the pin in front of him. Man, he could care less.
What do you?
Why didn't Jimmy Graham play?
Did he die?
I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, right. Here, try this.
He could be up here with me.
Kamara's pissed.
Kamara's
pissed. Sits right down.
I mean, it was just
I'm a change.
The whole thing, man. I mean, they have got to blow that thing.
Somebody tweets this every week.
It's him.
It just doesn't die.
You can't kill him. Plankton.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, Derek Carr, and he's got just something about him just rubs me the wrong way. Like when even the infield fighting, it's him always. It's bitching. As much as he doesn't want to be like, it can't be me. It's like, well, you're in the middle of it every single time.
You're the only one. You're the common denominator
in this whole thing.
All the drama.
Nobody likes you, bub.
I mean,
get out of town.
Just always. Can you just shut up and complete a pass? Find the right guy. I mean, sitting there holding it, patting the ball. I mean, guys are breaking open, tough. And he's just. I don't know, man.
Like the tough guy.
People are out there putting their hands.
Throw it.
I'm open.
No, I got to get hit so people know I want to play through pain.
Yeah,
the Saints could have handed the ball off the first 35 plays and been up 21-0. And we get cute. Got to get Derek Carr his touches. Why? What does he do for you?
What's the
big Derek Carr?
What's he ever done?
But then you put Jimmy Graham for the year. I think has 5 catches, 3 touchdowns.
I think he's at 3.
4. It's 4 or 5.
Crazy.
I thought it was stats for the game. Whenever I saw the catches, like, this is on the season.
I mean, it's like some LSU defense stuff.
It's and
play him.
But he's between him and Kamara, that's playing the hits. Like whenever he scored, the dome got excited because 4 catches for 3 touchdowns.
For 30 yards.
That's his stats this year?
That's his stats. 4
and
catches.
And they have red zone troubles.
30 yards.
And he's a cheat code still.
That is a fireable offense. I mean, that you do not play a guy who has 4 catches for 3 touchdowns in the red zone, and your offense goes to hell when you get to the 20. How?
I gotta see Derek Carr's stats.
His stats aren't bad. That's the crazy thing.
He threw for 119 yards yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Well, he didn't have a chance because they salted the game away. He didn't have a chance to get his garbage yards. Wherever they're down 10 in the fourth quarter and he starts slinging it all over the lot. and then they get to the red zone, he pisses down his leg.
That's why he throws for 5,000 yards every season.
I mean, this guy's a bad actor.
Big Derek Carr.
The biggest fraud of all time, and you can just tell that nobody on the team likes him.
2,800 yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Gross.
What do you think? What do you think his QBR is?
69.
46.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, play Jameis Winston.
Wait,
but they won, and then you have Dennis Allen in the locker room going first place in the division. It's like, God damn it! I mean, I'd rather you not be. Don't let them fool you. Don't put the wool over your eyes and be like, this season is successful.
Jayden Daniels go to the Saints.
No, don't let them win the division and bring back Dennis Allen.
Daniels go. I mean, at this point, if they bring back Dennis Allen and they don't listen, like their fan base yesterday is screaming at the owner's suite. I mean, this guy next to me, it was like, there's Gale's suite right there. There's Loomis. I'm like, damn, there they are right there. I mean, like, if you know where to look, you're like, I mean, it's sitting right there. I mean, like, care. And the people were, I mean, every single moment that they had.
Who's that?
I mean, the guy was like, I haven't come all season long. The guy behind it, he's like, but I wanted to come today because I want them to hear how pissed off I am. And I mean, I had no idea it was that bad. I didn't know. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know the disconnect between the Saints, the fan base, and the city was as severed as it feels and as it is now. Being in the Dome yesterday was a hell of an eye-opener, just to be frank. I mean, look, I got no dog in the fight. I mean, I'm not really, I mean, I was a hell of a bandwagon Saints fan when Peyton and Breeze were there. But, I mean, now that they're away.
There's no point to bandwagon.
Yeah, right. I mean,
ain't
like,
no
if this is the crap that y'all are going to put out on the field, I am out, man. I mean, and this Mickey Loomis guy's a fraud. I'm telling you. This is,
everybody's getting caught.
He's out of position.
The Ponzi scheme, the house of cards is falling apart.
The 200 wins as an executive. Get the hell out of here. This guy's a numbers cruncher as a salary cap guy.
A pencil pusher.
And great at it.
Lead weight.
But, I mean, if we're expecting Mickey Loomis to get the Saints out of the dark days that they're in now,
it's over.
Get your bags out because you're going to have bags back over your head here pretty quick. I mean, I know that they're talking about new coaches, new quarterbacks. That ain't the issue. The issue is way up top. I mean,
they got the Giants next at home, another home game.
Which is a very winnable game.
Should be. Don't trust a thing about the Saints. Have no clue which way to go. Probably the under. But if this is setting up, then you have Saints-Rams in Los Angeles, so they finally get a break. They probably don't want to play at home anymore. And then you have at the Bucs. The last two games are going to decide the fate of what you think of the New Orleans Saints this year. And
I've already got mine.
Oh, me too. But I'm talking about
my
from
summary is made.
Yeah, I was
the
about
top
to say
down.
There's
a chance.
I mean, unless they pick up Tom Brady here between now and Wednesday,
Tom Brady can't fix this offense.
I'm done with him.
League soft,
Alvin
man.
Kamara is
Brady ain't coming back.
a trooper. Like, that man's soul has left his body, but he can't stop playing. And he plays hard for a team that has can't dance.
He's so good.
He's so good.
My man drove the NASCAR to the game yesterday. Had the politics pop up after. Like,
he's doing everything to keep them relevant.
He loves the city. It's just like, I mean, and the city loves him back, but it's like, I mean, I don't want to play for that.
I had no idea. I really didn't. I mean, they need to blow it up. They need to blow that thing up from the top up.
And just keep Kamara. Put him in a tidy box.
I love Kamara.
But you have to get rid of him, probably.
I mean, yes. And like, as much as I love him, I want to get rid of him now.
Just so he can
have a chance to go win and not the last 5-6 years of his career be this dude. Yeah. You know, like be the guy that's the best player on a bad run team. Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, they just.
If you're him, where would you be looking?
Like Buffalo.
Ugh.
I mean, I hear you. I mean, but I'm talking about places to win.
Yeah.
Go route Dallas. You know, I mean, teams at Philly. I'm talking about like headline hunters.
Contenders.
Yes. First line contenders is where he needs to be.
I don't want to play for nobody.
He's going to retire a Saint.
Denver.
Yeah.
Denver's on the come up.
Cool. They did it again.
I mean, if I was Sean Payton, I'd be saying, get me Kamara. I mean, if I can squeeze, some
I know how to use
some Deuce McAllister years out of Kamara like Peyton. Would Peyton have him 2 years? Or I mean, I don't know.
Oh, this is like a...
No. I'm talking about what Peyton had with Deuce at the end. You know,
to be the Saints' leading rusher all time.
Yeah.
But it's more of like a Darren Sproles-esque run where it's like, this man's 38 years old and still doing it. You know, like that's what Sean Payton can do for your career. Like, I'll use you in spurts. I'll use you in spots.
And know how to use you.
Yeah, I can squeeze 5 years out of you.
He's still dominant in the screen game.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
You know, but they're running him in between the tackles.
What was
and they're
the
running him in
screenplay
between
that they ran in the red zone? Oh, no, it was at the 2-minute drive before the half where they have one timeout and they try to run a screenplay and it gets blown up for a loss of 15 and then they get booed off the field going into the half. It's like, you have one timeout, you run a screen to Kamara who gets trounced for 10 and then Derek Carr throws it away and then you keep your timeout in your pocket. It's like, that was a good drive.
Oh, they're bad.
They're broken.
Like, they're bad.
And then Carr's bitching at somebody about something. And it's like, dude, keep it to yourself.
Kamara to Miami.
Oh. They're salivating.
That's like Shohei to the Dodgers. Fuck.
$700 million.
$700 million, coach. I'm a Dodgers fan, but damn.
$700
to give him the farm, why don't we?
Million to Shohei Ohtani.
Your kid better pick up a baseball bat.
He likes baseball.
Yeah, he better like it more today.
Them 700 M's is looking real good. But did you see how much is getting taxed in California?
Yeah. Only 400 of it.
Yeah.
Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Katie's Restaurant down in New Orleans. Yeah. Katie's of New Orleans, located on Iberville Street. Katie'sInMidCity.com is where you can get in touch with them. New Orleans favorites, as always. And you can find the coldest beer in town. Great service, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. on Sundays over at Katie's. Katie'sInMidCity.com. Katie'sInMidCity.com. Find them there and tell them you heard it right here on the show. We'll be back more of Hour 2. Talk a little bit more about where LSU stands here going into bowl preparation. Wrapping up some of the dome talk from the weekend with the high school performances. Also for the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, our thoughts there. If you have any thoughts, jump inside of the chat and get them in, and we will take your phone calls at some point here coming into the second hour as well. Some LSU women's basketball news over the weekend. Kim Mulkey confirmed that there will not be that one player will no longer be with the squad. We'll tell you who when we come back here. Jordy Culotta Show, as always, live here from our Click Here digital campus. We'll be back right after this.
Pressure never faze me cause I'm bigger than pressure. I'm on my grind, bullshit. Can't fit on my schedule.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot.
Oh, yeah.
Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, or a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, roof up?
Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
Well, the Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute collaborative effort was an idea from Dr. Andrews and myself to bring together two great names, the Andrews name and the Ochsner name, to elevate the quality of care for athletes in the state of Louisiana, where he's from.
I always thought I would come back to Louisiana and practice orthopedics with my subspecialty being sports medicine. This was an opportunity through Ochsner's to come back and work the entire state to help develop and take sports medicine to a new level.
As an orthopedic surgeon, what this means in the future in terms of, access for our community to the type of care that Dr. Andrews pioneered, words can't describe how valuable that is.
Ochsner has a great opportunity here to really grow, and Dr. Burnham, of course, is the mainstay of making that happen. If you want to have first-class sports medicine care, check in with Dr. Burnham and his group, and you'll be more than impressed and pleased.
I'm Tom Granick with Go Martin, Wardo's Po' Boys in Natchez, Mississippi. On behalf of the Granick family, we invite you to run, walk, or stroll in the second annual Rudolph Roll. Held on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, this holiday event will kick off at 8 a.m. on December 9th and will include a 10K, 5K, and 1 mile kids fun run. Along with the race, there will be live music, drinks, and of course, Po' Boys. We're looking forward to an even bigger party this year. For more information, please check out the link on Wardo's Facebook page or scan the QR code. Hope to see y'all there.
Okay, Gordon, ready to talk a little bit about yourself today? Okay, good. Tell us, who is Gordon McKernan?
Great question. In a lot of ways, I'm just like most people. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a son. I am a brother. I'm a Christian. I am a Tigers fan. I am a Louisiana sportsman. But above all, I am grateful to the people of Louisiana. We want to be your lawyers for life. Hi, I'm Gordon McKernan. Everyone has a special Christmas memory. One of mine is when I woke up on Christmas morning, ran down the stairs, and there it was, a brand new red bicycle.
That is why this Christmas, Gordon McKernan is giving away over 425 bicycles throughout the state of Louisiana.
To register, please fill out a form online at GordonGives.com or GetGordon.com. And make sure to visit the Get Gordon Facebook page for additional details and chances to win. From all of us here at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, Merry Christmas and God bless.
Offensive player of the game from LSU, Joe Burrow.
Football is life. Football is Joe Burrow.
Let's be special. Let's be strong. Let's spell greatness from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
I'ma do what's best with me, you can keep all your lectures. Spend the summer stacking bread, might be gone to November. Pulling up like Trae Young just to freeze up December. I got niggas on the blood like traditional sinners. OGs love me, so I hang with traditional winners. I took a break for a minute, I had to go charge up. Had to focus on my business, I'm coming back smarter. Hit up DJ, tell him go like I'm dropping the Carter. Coming back like KD, it's time to go harder. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't let you slow up. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't let you slow up. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't let you slow up. Bounce back, can't let you fold up. Keep pushing, can't let you slow up. They say that life's a marathon, man, shout out to Nip. They start to think you falling off and they starting to flip. Circumstances start to change and they jump in the ship. Only ones that really matter who's tied to your hip. They tried to push you to the side cause they thought you would quit. May bend but never break, your cloth is legit. When you return in rare form, they all gonna be sick. You ever seen a living legend, just know that I'm it. Slow grind like IT, just know that I'm it. Now I'm back up in my bag, I'm giving them fits. Bouncing back like John Morant, you know that I'm lit. Making plays like Jack Bash, I'm never
All right, welcome back here. Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show live here from our Click Here Digital Campus. Appreciate you starting your week here with us. Remember our friends over at Go Roof, online at GEAUX, Go Roof. Roof's up with our friends over at Go Roof, 927-8300. And online, like we say, GEAUXroof.com. Residential or commercial roofing, they can help you today. If you just need roof maintenance, roof repair, get in touch with Go Roof. Online, GEAUXroof.com. Other players this weekend inside the dome, Stewie, making plays that we were talking about. I've brought up this kid, Brooks Wright, a couple of times from Catholic High. He had a couple of touchdown catches for the Bears. Their quarterback, Daniel Beal, was the MVP of the game. Beal threw for over 350 and 4 touchdowns. He also ran for a touchdown for the Bears as Catholic High beat up on Acadiana for that. I don't know what division that was, but that state title.
It was Division I.
On Friday night. But Brooks Wright, who is his brother Bradley Wright, is another wide receiver.
Oh, the Wright brothers.
Playmaker.
Yeah, they are the Wright brothers.
Kitty Hawk to Sundown.
Twins.
But Brooks Wright is.
Brooks has got like the size. Bradley's got like he's kind of like the more shorty squatter
frame.
Yeah, I mean he's an athlete. He's like the punt returner. You know, he's like quick in space and fast. He's like a track guy. And then Brooks is long, baseball player, signed at UL as a wide receiver, or excuse me, as a baseball player, signed with the Cajuns as a baseball prospect. But I've seen Catholic High play 3 times this year, and all 3 times he's the best player on the field.
Coach, he was beating the Acadiana DBs like a drum.
I mean,
like putting him in a spin cycle.
And he's got more of a football frame. Like he does. He's not a pitcher in baseball.
I mean, pitchers are
he's not a pitcher.
He's not a pitcher.
He's not. Like,
what does he play, like
if he was in baseball, he looks like, because he's kind of long.
Yeah.
It looks like he'd be a pitcher, but he's like he's a center fielder.
I could see that.
Quarterback, center fielder, probably could pitch if you needed him to play shortstop.
I could see UL, that's a 2-sport player.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean,
come on over. We need receivers.
He's special, man.
Billy might offer him.
I mean, Coach.
Is that McKinley right there, 96?
Mm-hmm. I made a little cameo.
Is that brother to brother?
Make a little cameo in this video.
Both brothers play wide receiver. Yeah, he's got some swag to him.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean? Like, he talks a little bit. Like, I mean...
And that was a double move, and he beat the cornerback by like 4 yards.
I mean, every game he pulls off one of those. Like I'm telling, every game. Like last week, he was the one that made the game winner against Rummel.
Wow.
I mean, he's a big time football player.
I mean, I don't know why he doesn't.
Every time I watch him play,
he's the Shohei money.
Yeah, it is the
Shohei kid.
No, I get it. Yeah,
you see the Shohei money, and you see.
What'd you think about Dominic McKinley?
Gerald Willis 2.0?
I want to be. I don't want to sound like I'm bagging on a kid because he's 18, but I don't think he's the number 1 player in the state.
Well, he's not. Trey'Dez Green is. I mean,
if it's not Trey'Dez Green, it's Gabe Relaford or one of those guys. It ain't him. It ain't that.
Coach, after what I saw Saturday, if there's a better player in the state than Trey'Dez Green, where is he?
Yeah.
I mean, Trey'Dez Green, he took that game over against the best team in the state.
Yeah. But I mean, I see where where all the hype is coming from because he has the size, he has the athleticism. You could tell it's there, but he doesn't play with that type of motor like you would expect to see from the number 1 player in the state. That's what I love. That's the takeaway I left with. Like, I like him. I like the size. I like the everything. I like the physical work. But when we get on the field, I want to see you be the number 1 player in the state. I don't want to see you kind of go away in the game. And, I mean, he kind of sometimes in that
Disappeared.
game disappeared. I mean, they lost, what was it, 48-24? So you disappear. You're the best player in the state and the best player on the team on the field. I would expect you to have at least like 2 sacks.
Couple moments.
Right, especially against a team that's throwing the ball. Emory Jones ain't there anymore. So it's like, you know, it's just wouldn't have him as my number 1 player in the state.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, I've heard that from people, and this was well before he committed to Texas A&M. I mean, he was, I think, trending out of the top spot early on this season, but still a good player.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
still
sure.
solid.
All that said, you would take him at LSU in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'd take him right now, but I mean, like, he's going to get to college, and he's going to have to realize, like, you got to play hard every play over here. Like, you can't take a play off, and he takes a lot of plays off sometimes. And it's like, I understand, like, you got all the hype, you're the best player in the state, you got all these offers, and you're about to go to college. I get it. But this is your last high school football game. Like, I would be going balls to the wall, knowing that it's my last game. Ain't nothing else after this. I'm going to college.
Like, you saw how much it impacted, like, Juwan Johnson, who was, like, obviously there's a lot made of what happened whenever he threw the interception at the end of the first half, and, like, oh, he just got to go track him down. It's like, don't question that man's love for football when you see him crying with the MVP in his hand. He's like, I wanted to win. And, you know, like, he gets beat by the same team 2 years in a row. Like, that hurt.
That stings.
You could tell it stung him. And, like, if you're trying to judge a high school senior on how they act when they just lost a state championship game after everything he's done at LCA and he's the team, like, he's okay to be vulnerable and have a moment where it doesn't look the best, but that's just passion. Like, I'd rather see that than nothing.
No doubt. That wasn't a good look for Juwan Johnson.
But you got to learn how to win and lose. It's just unfortunate it happens on the biggest stage for a guy that doesn't lose very often.
What'd you make of that running back from Opelousas? Doesn't he have some big-time SEC offers?
Yeah, LSU, Mississippi State, Florida State.
Deshaun Ford?
I like him. I just don't know where he fits into the LSU class.
It was Simon and Barry, right?
And he's more of like a straightforward power runner, and you get electric and Barry, fast, and then you get speed and the bowling ball mentality from James Simon. So it's kind of like,
and you got Caleb Jackson and Cade Durham, like,
right? So the room's packed, and I don't know, but he'll be a good get for somebody. Like, whoever gets him is getting a big time player for sure.
I mean, he'll be in the SEC.
Yeah. They had a linebacker that's pretty good too, Corey Amos. He's probably 6'3", 6'4".
Opelousas?
He's about 200 pounds right now. He has the frame to add more weight. I would probably put him at linebacker or like an edge. Yeah, but he can play like he has some coverage moments too, and he could play out like he played the edge, and he plays the edge well. But I left kind of more impressed with him than the running back.
Really?
Just because he popped. Like, he made some plays in the pass game, screen game. Like, they tried to run like a not an end around, but like a jet sweep, and he stuffed it. Like, he was already set the edge and just ran through the player. But yeah, I like the running back. I like him. I think somebody is gonna get a player once he gets to college and starts to get in that mindset. He'll be a great player.
Heads up for Deshaun Ford, class of 2025, Opelousas running back, one of 3 running backs in the state that is heavily offered and has a ton of attention on him, joining Harlem Berry from New Orleans at St. Martin's Episcopal, and, of course, John Simon, who is the running back at Calvary Baptist, who was the MVP of the state championship game over the weekend in 1 versus 2, as Calvary Baptist was the second-seeded team in whatever division they were in. As they took down St. Charles Catholic in that division, as St. Charles Catholic was the number 1 seed, but Calvary Baptist was able to prevail and win. Some LSU women's basketball news that popped over the weekend. Kim Mulkey met with the press following yesterday's win over UL Lafayette and stated that Kateri Poole is no longer a part of the LSU women's basketball team. The junior guard played in 4 games this season. She did not play against Kent State due to a coach's decision. She saw the floor just for about 5 minutes against Southeastern, and then was the last on the bench when LSU played against Texas Southern and did not take the floor that day. Kim Mulkey said yesterday after the 30-point win over the Cajuns, as she told the press, her quote exactly, she's no longer with us, is what Mulkey said about Kateri Poole. LSU has seen a little bit of turmoil here in the beginning of the season with Angel Reese not being with the team and now Kateri Poole no longer being with the squad, but it seems like Coach Mulkey's trying to find her best unit to get this team going forward. As Mulkey said with the Angel Reese stuff, that she was dealing with some locker room issues at the time. Poole, who started last season for LSU during their championship run, began her college career at Ohio State. She averaged just over 4 points and 2 rebounds in 22 minutes of average time last year, and was averaging just 2 points and an assist through 4 games this season as she was playing 12.5 points. Look, I don't want to make this an enormous deal. One thing LSU is doing, though, here early on, if you're paying attention, they're losing a little bit of depth here, right? I mean, Samaya Smith going down earlier this season in the Cayman Islands as she suffered that ACL injury. That's a big one, man. I mean, that really is. Samaya Smith had a heck of an offseason. Her confidence was really brimming. She had a good start to the season, so to lose her was a hell of a loss. Not only just kind of in the moment and what was happening during the competition and what's happening for the team, but ultimately for what's happening for Smith long term. Man, you hated to see that, and she added so much competitive quality depth to the lineup that she will be missed. And now Poole was, while she may not have been as qualitative as Samaya Smith was playing, she was still a nice piece of depth for you to come off the bench. And LSU losing Samaya Smith and now losing Kateri Poole is a little bit of an issue. Haley Van Lith is dealing with some plantar fasciitis that she's trying to get right as well right now. So,
and it was kind of evident. You could see it against who was
Virginia
it?
Tech.
Virginia Tech, yeah, where she was kind of she didn't look right, and so you could tell she's trying to battle through it. But you talk about losing depth. How many people do they have to rotate in and out for LSU women's basketball?
They're about 7 deep right now.
Yeah,
I mean. And that's that's kind of,
was it like a foot injury?
Yeah, plantar fasciitis. It's like the bottom of your foot. I mean, it's
where
kind
your
of
toes
like sneak
connect
up
to your
on
heel.
you, and it'll drop you.
Probably from like her playing in different style shoes, like going from Adidas to Nike. Could be that.
I think it's because she played a lot of basketball.
I think this actually kind of goes back for a while.
Yeah,
like she's dealt with this. This is pretty prevalent in with athletes.
Over years.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's and knowing how she plays and her mentality, she's going to try to play through it. Like, I don't think she's going to sit for the appropriate amount of time, but now would be the time where you would have to rest her. But you talk about the depth pieces, like she almost has to play just to get a warm body that you don't have to go 100%, even though you don't know how to play any other way. But that's one thing the only thing that heals plantar fasciitis is rest. Like, that's all rest, recovery, time in the training room, not playing basketball. That's not going to help it. But you're at a spot where you kind of need her to play, or some kids are going to have to grow up quick.
Yeah. I mean,
because you're kind of now you're in the stretch of the schedule where you got through Virginia Tech and looked great doing it. And they were down to UL like early at half, and then they came back and obviously blew them out by 20-30. But you're at the stretch of the run where you're trying to you're not looking ahead, but all odds are peaking towards that South Carolina matchup.
Yeah.
So you want her as healthy as she can be for that game.
Yeah. No, not without question.
I trust old Kim.
Yeah, she's finding it. She's definitely working to get it right, as there has been a lot of activity with what's happening here in LSU's defense of their national title run. So Kateri Poole no longer with the squad, as Kim Mulkey announced earlier this week. And then another piece of information that popped before the weekend that we wanted to make sure and get to was that LSU defensive end Quincy Wiggins had put himself into the transfer portal and saw that he had set up a visit to Houston over the weekend. Transfer defensive end Quincy Wiggins is expected to meet with newly named Houston head coach Willie Fritz and the Cougars coming up. That was reported by Matt Zenitz on Sunday evening. Wiggins has a relationship with defensive line coach in Houston, Gerald Chapman, who spent some time obviously at LSU, where Chapman coached with LSU in 2021, where he was an analyst, and in 2022 he also worked with Colorado and Tulane on their defensive line. Quincy Wiggins is in the portal, will be set up and on the move, and could be in Houston here pretty soon for a visit, as that was popping on 3 yesterday. But you hate to see this, man. You know, when I saw this on Friday, you kind of had your fingers crossed that LSU was going to be able to dodge this time of year without losing some significant names, and especially some guys that you thought would have an emphasis on the future. And Quincy Wiggins was definitely in that list. And for whatever reason, his time at LSU just did not. It just didn't work out, and you know that is it sucks because you know when Wiggins signed, he was a big get first off, and you really thought he was coming into a position of need, a position of concern that he could help pretty soon, right? Whether it was going to be spottingly in his first year, and then by his second year, he definitely was going to have enough time and experience where he'd be able to get on the field. But for whatever reason, it's just not worked out. Wiggins has not been able to get on the field, and when he does get on the field, at least early on, he did not look like, he just kind of looked a little bit lost. But he played late in the year versus Georgia Southern. Georgia State. And
he looked good.
He really did. I mean, he was able to, show some football technique and some growth in the game. One of the things that, the scouting report says on Wiggins is, first, late guy to football, didn't start playing football until his sophomore season of high school. And he's a basketball player is his background. So the mentality is a little different from, the transition into football for guys that are late to it and then, not as used to the physical style of it. And while that is all fine, one thing is for sure is that he's committed to the game and he wants to be a football player. And it is my belief that good coaching is defined by a system that fits your players, not a system that you ask your players to fit, right? Like whatever players you're going to recruit, whatever players you are going to go after, you need to have a plan in place, or at least an idea of how you're going to use them, develop them, and get them on the field. How can they help immediately? The fastest way to helping the team program win games. And when players get to a specific destination, and the excuse around them is, well, they don't fit the scheme, or they don't know the playbook, or there's not a spot that makes sense for him. I don't buy that. I don't jive with that. I don't think that is a part of the job. I don't think that is what the job calls for. I think if you bring players in and your job and duty and your profession is to develop athletes into football players and put them into a position to help win whatever team you're coaching win games, the excuse of they don't fit, they can't catch up with the playbook, or they don't fit the scheme is that lies at the feet of the architect, the coach, the planner, the person that's putting this together. And to lose Quincy Wiggins on, what I have been told and through my relationships have secured that, the feedback on him is that he doesn't keep up with the playbook, or he doesn't really understand the football scheme technique side of it, that he has a basketball mentality, and, it was just a bad fit. That to me that's insubordination. That is at the very least degree of your responsibility is to win games. This guy can help you win games. You struggle in a department that he can help, and he doesn't get on the field, and he leaves the first opportunity he gets. I mean, that there is no excuse, in my opinion, on why Wiggins is not helping and more secure at LSU than what he was. I am not here to say that there's not going to be situations and scenarios that exist in this world of college football where the transfer portal makes more sense for a player that's on the roster that could contribute and help. I think that that's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen, and that's just the way of the world. That's the way of the game. But to lose this particular prospect and this particular player over things of not fitting, not being able to keep up, that is no excuse. You tailor a playbook to certain players in every situation. And I'm not saying that they have one playbook and everybody else has another, but they have a specific role where they can help at, and they don't have to understand all the nuts and bolts of, page 73, paragraph 4 of the playbook. And just to lose players that can help, it's.
I mean, 2 coaches in 2 years, and one he had for, well, I guess 3 coaches in 2 years, technically. I mean, for a guy that you would hope to develop, like you said, was a basketball body, didn't play a lot of football coming in. You have Kane for a year, then you have Jimmy Lindsey go through what he went through, then you have, here's my guy that came in. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name. The Godfather.
Frank?
No,
Pete Jenkins.
Pete Jenkins come in. He never really got. That's somebody that you talk about development. That's somebody you have to have hands on at all times to learn how to play college football at this level. Quincy never got that, so it makes sense for him to feel some type of way about I never got coached up, so I got lost in the wash. And then you bring in, obviously, I don't think it was shocking to see Gabe Relaford announce and then Quincy announce. You're bringing in another body at a position that he plays where it's, okay, the room's getting, you used to look around and he's the odd man out.
Well, I just think the things that you're talking about, Wiggins, on the way out are the things that you knew about coming in.
Right, and he just never got anybody that they didn't address it.
They didn't have nobody to push him forward.
Same thing with, you could say the same thing about anybody on the defensive line. Mason Smith hasn't gotten better. I know there's been injury concerns, but you haven't seen that jump that you expected to see from his freshman to now his junior year.
Marcus Stewart tailored the playbook for Quincy Wiggins. Wild take, Jordy. I didn't say that. I didn't say tailor the playbook for Quincy Wiggins. I'm saying there's a certain section of the playbook that is made for him to understand. It's not for him. It's not Quincy Wiggins' chapter. It's just a portion of the playbook that you say, hey, look, man, you don't have to get all of this. I just need you to get this section right here. Now go get it. And go with a Swinson. Go with an Ojulari last year that you can just put under your wing and say, hey, look, this is how it's done. This is how you learn. This is how you progress. This is your future, right? I mean, this is what you want to do. This is how you want to make your life. Okay, well, you're going to have to learn this. I mean, not by any means do you tailor the playbook for Quincy Wiggins.
No, you just develop.
You just say, hey, look, you start here, and then let's start expanding from there. But first, learn this. And that'll get you on the field. It won't get you on the field all 3 downs, but it'll at least get you on the field a small percentage of the time where you can begin to help the program win. For as bad as LSU was on defense in 2023, the fact that Quincy Wiggins would run out of the tunnel and give his helmet to a staffer, set up on a medical table, and watch the game on television, just on the Jumbotron in the stadium, knowing that there is no threat for him to check in, I think that is inexcusable. That is, how does a player of his caliber not log 5 to 8 snaps on a defense that ranks in the hundreds of every category? I mean, that is wild to me. Well, he doesn't get the playbook. Boy, come on. To play 6 snaps?
That defensive end.
And just tell him, see ball, hit ball? Or say, hey, watch for this key. If this guy goes out, you go up. I mean, whatever. Just simple stacking blocks of football. And he just, I mean, it was wild. When I went to Tuscaloosa, Wiggins, Jordan, and I are trying. He's like, "Where's Quincy? Where is he?" I'm like, "Shit, there he is, right? He's sitting on the medical table, and he's just watching the game. Like watching it on the jumbotron. He's not even engaged. He's not even. I mean, like if they were like, "Yo, Quince, get in," I mean, he might rip a hamstring. He's so cold and tight. I mean, it's not. He doesn't even have the threat of entering the game.
But I mean, is that surprising to you? Like, I don't.
No, it's not. But it's inexcusable. How can you be that bad on defense, struggle that mightily to stop anybody, and a player of that just?
Well, he's just always potential. Like you haven't seen him do anything at the college level. I mean,
I saw him against Georgia State.
Georgia State.
And I recognize that.
Yeah.
I recognize that. And I recognize it the Monday after I saw it. And I recognize it even today when I proved the point again. But it's still that he has that movement. He has that understanding. I'm not saying that he starts. I'm not saying that he plays pivotal drives. I'm not saying pivotal but he can't play on the 120th ranked defense and keep him engaged so down the line you have him bought in where he doesn't transfer. Maybe it's best case for both the player and the program that he does. I don't know. I'm speaking from an outsider looking in.
I guess you could make the same case for Terrence Welch.
You should make the same case for Deshaun Womack.
You know what, though? I tried to yell and beat the table for Welch. Welch got in there, and they saw something that he didn't get, and you never saw him again. So, I mean, maybe it is best that he goes and plays somewhere else. And I don't know. I mean, there are things that, you just have to wait and see. Jordy, he's not good. Goddamn. Okay. All right. I mean, maybe he's not. I just... the LSU defense is not good.
Yeah, you see the archetype.
At all.
Like,
I mean,
somebody. Maybe he can help.
Yeah, right. Put him out there.
I get you, but I think it's like even a stronger case for like a Braden Swinson, Deshaun Womack, where it's maybe you should play some more. Like at least Womack got out there and you saw him do it against elite offenses as a freshman. And you're like, I'd like to see some more of that. Like maybe Quincy is in that same vein of it could have been next year. But it feels like he got kind of lost in the wash whenever you have a 5-star legitimate football player coming in Womack where he's like, I'm not going to play in front of him. And then this could probably, if you want to even look further down the line, it probably is good news for LSU that some guys are coming back.
Yeah.
Where it's, okay, if Mason Smith's coming back, if Wingo's coming back, like Gabe Rutherford's coming in, Womack's coming back, Swinson's coming back, where do I fit in? I'll go somewhere else and play. Like finally get to play.
Yeah. If you get to your third year at LSU and you're not playing, you probably need to leave because odds are you've been passed up by somebody younger, or you're just in a rotation with somebody that's your age that you're not as good as. And that has always been before the transfer portal. That's always kind of been my thought and kind of track. Yeah. For players that were here. If you're not on the field predominantly as a third-year player,
might as well leave.
I mean,
still room for you.
I
mean, you might be playing
Cardell Thomas.
Teams.
Yep. Like if it hadn't happened by now, it's not going to happen. So if Wiggins was getting to that threshold and saw, hey, I'm being passed up and I'm in a group that I'm not as good as, maybe that's the best thing that's for him. But Welch was in his third season and was not playing on a team that had no DBs.
Yeah.
So whatever his reasoning, I understand. I mean, I get it that he wants to go somewhere else and play.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I just
that room is. Whew.
To lose Quincy Wiggins was a gut punch.
I think more Terrence Welch was more of a gut punch just because of the
I kind
number.
of expected that though, right?
Yeah, me too. But like, just the number of bodies in the room.
Yeah, you didn't really want to see any attrition come from the defensive back room, but it could be the same thing where you have Alexander coming back, J.K. Johnson coming back, and you add some portal names, and Denver Harris is still in the wind. Deuce Chestnut is still in the wind.
Yeah. Deuce Chestnut might be like in the wind for sure.
I don't expect to see Chestnut next year.
Yeah. Now Denver.
We'll see.
We got
that's what I'm saying. Like with
on.
Terrence, like it's not that they didn't have bodies in the defensive back room. The defense just wasn't good.
Yeah.
So that's where you get into the Matt House conversation of there's going to be a lot of pressure on you, Mr. House, on this year because it's going to be nut cutting time, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there's no if he comes back, there's no wiggle room.
Brian Kelly has called the third year down on everybody.
Yes, and I think that when you look even more into the presser of how he's like, I fired people in the 3 years. I mean, 3 games in. I think that was Matt House. Like you're on notice for next year. If this isn't right first of all, you start off at USC against Lincoln Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Riley's making some moves.
Yeah. He didn't get the North Dakota State coach as a linebackers coach, I think.
And he hired UCLA's defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's not playing about the defense. Like he's not. I guess he's just not taking that experience.
Somebody got into
anymore.
him.
Yeah,
somebody was like, "All right, man, enough of this."
And I think somebody told him like, "You won't have Caleb Williams next year." You realize that, right? Like, and he was like, "Oh shit!"
And the Grinch's heart grew 3 times that size. He's probably the most relieved man of all time. Alex Grinch.
Yes.
Probably like, thank God. Like, I love you, buddy, but I'm not good at this, and I'm tired of doing it.
I'm tired of
I'm terrible at this.
You're putting up 40, and I'm giving up 60.
North Dakota State head coach Matt Entz has been tabbed as USC's next linebackers coach. Entz has been at North Dakota State since 2014, beginning with the Bison as the defensive coordinator. Entz was promoted to head coach in 2019. Entz won 2 FCS titles and 2 Missouri Valley championships with the Bison. So that's a pretty nice ad as the linebackers coach to USC. He already hired away D'Anton Lynn from UCLA earlier this season to serve as the USC new defensive coordinator moving forward. Lynn was a guy that we talked about on this show a lot because of what UCLA was doing out west and the style of defense they were playing. Lynn's old man is former head coach for at the time, San Diego Chargers, Anthony Lynn, who is, I believe, now a running backs coach somewhere in the league, but comes from a bloodline of coaches and has really done a nice job here in the offseason of adding some guys, including Matt Entz from North Dakota State and D'Anton Lynn from UCLA. So UCLA making moves on the defensive side of the ball for
USC.
for next season. Excuse me, USC making moves for, and I believe they play Louisville in the Holiday Bowl, so they'll have a chance to prepare.
Do you know what their quarterback room looks like outside of Caleb Williams?
I have no idea.
They have
they've got to have a big guy coming
I think
in.
Julian Lewis. Malachi Moore is the backup.
That sounds familiar.
And he was the number 1 quarterback last year.
I mean, why would you not want to go play in that offense? I get it. I mean,
right, for sure.
Mike Denbrock's doing the same thing where you look at LSU, 2 Heisman winners in 5 years. I know that was under a previous regime, but when you look at what LSU is doing, it's starting to turn into a quarterback factory, which is something
unreal.
I never thought I would say in my
Malachi Nelson is the backup.
Yeah, Malachi Moore's at Bama.
Yeah. Bama DB.
All right, good stuff today. Appreciate you being here. Like, share, follow. Make sure and subscribe to the page if you have not done so. Remember our friends over at neworleans.football. Great stuff as far as the Saints coverage goes. If you're looking to keep up with what's happening with the Saints, the days of our lives down in New Orleans, there's a soap opera down there. To keep up with it, nobody's covering it better than our friends and our partners over at neworleans.football. Go check out what they have and what they've got going on. Make sure and follow them on YouTube as well. Brandon Hollingsworth inside the chat. Joe Brady getting love, turning around the Bills' offense. Brady's sitting in a great spot with that Bills' offense. He's starting to get some production out of Josh Allen, and they rolled into Kansas City yesterday for a big win in Arrowhead for the Bills, as that was a pretty good game at the end.
Feels like Brady was not the problem in Carolina. It might have been Carolina being the problem for Carolina.
Yes.
Like, what a mess.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Brady just didn't forget how to call plays overnight. Have a good day out there.
Hell, he won you a flag football championship in one play.
A couple of them. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Make sure and help us out, and we appreciate you being there. NewOrleans.football. Check them out. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m.
That kid.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. It's the hottest show around, we ain't gotta flex. Call up G, we get it done, we earning our respect. Tell recruits to let us in, where they going next. Throw up the L's, now we lit, band playing neck. From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live, mic'd up for show. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah, Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta